Max Verstappen's frustration is back in the spotlight, especially now that the RB20 isn't as dominant as the RB18 and RB19 were. Expect a lot of heated radio messages from Max to his team. This could potentially stir things up within Red Bull, and with McLaren and Mercedes posing serious threats, it might become a significant problem for Verstappen's future. Moreover, the discussions about Verstappen leaving Red Bull are heating up once again. Red Bull seems to be centered around Max right now. Sergio Perez did manage an impressive comeback from 16th to finish 7th in Budapest, but his crash in qualifying was a major setback for the team. Throughout the race, Verstappen sent sharp messages to his race engineer Lambiase, insisting they should have been upfront about the flawed strategy. Reflecting on the race, Verstappen said, "This was just a really bad race. Everything went wrong. The strategy went bad. We know it's very difficult to overtake here. All I was trying to do was share my thoughts. Instead, I got some dumb replies over the radio, rather than just talking to me and maybe admitting that the strategy wasn't great, which could have helped me calm down. The team kept arguing. We couldn't keep up with McLaren at all, and it was frustrating. Right now, it's hard to say what will happen next, but we're too slow at the moment." Even though there's hope that Red Bull will do better at Spa, mostly because they couldn't take full advantage of their upgrades in Hungary, we must remember that those upgrades were specific to the track's low-speed, high-downforce nature. So it's not guaranteed that Red Bull would start the weekend strong here. This is particularly annoying for Max, who gets more frustrated than anyone else. During the Silverstone race, the strategy was spot on, helping him finish in P2 instead of a likely P5, thanks to mixed conditions and smart decisions. However, Max hates when things don't go his way. He ignored the strategy advice from his engineer, Lambiase. In the last stint, he got medium tyres and was asked to take it easy to preserve them for overtaking Leclerc and Hamilton. Both had managed to undercut him, but Max wasn't having it. He pushed the car to its limit. Lambiase made a sarcastic comment about his gentle introduction to the tyres, and Max snapped back saying, "No, don't give me that right now. You guys gave me this effing strategy. I'm trying to salvage what I can for God's sake." Overall, it's clear Verstappen felt intense pressure. He even dive-bombed Hamilton despite earlier complaining about Norris doing the same to him. The FIA admitted they should have flagged Max earlier for his braking moves. His dissatisfaction with the car is obvious. Even a top driver like him can't get the best out of it. Clearly, there's still a lot of work to be done for Red Bull. The real question now is whether they can overcome this challenge after hitting a development ceiling. Verstappen has been quite clear about his feelings on the car's current performance. The three-time world champion remarked, "It's not a crisis, but things have been tough for a few races. The car just isn't fast enough. It's not like we can magically get new upgrades by next weekend. So yeah, we're in big trouble." Verstappen has always spoken up about car issues, but he's never gone 3 races without winning since the start of the 2022 season. What's even more worrying is that Red Bull, which used to have a car stronger in races than in qualifying, is now struggling in both. Without Verstappen, they might be just another midfield team. Meanwhile, Mercedes has made significant improvements and is now regularly securing podium finishes. Let's talk about how Max has been treating his racing engineer Lambiase. Lambiase is the guy who keeps his cool no matter how heated Max gets. They have a special connection, but being rude to him during races where every detail counts isn't helping their future together. We don't know if Max's outbursts will continue, but he has a lot to consider. Lambiase might be calm and collected, but he could easily leave, and he'd be in high demand. Red Bull wouldn't have much to defend Max with if that happens. Lambiase even called out arguing with other teams on the radio as childish, something Max should seriously think about. As a champion with 62 wins and over 100 podiums, Max is all about winning. He knew victory wasn't possible because of the MCL38's race pace, but would have settled for 3rd place, which was lost due to pit wall strategy. We also need to talk about the recent upgrades, another worry for Red Bull. The changes introduced in Hungary concerned both Marko and Max. The veteran Austrian hinted at hope for the next race, stressing the need for the team to adapt to the new upgrades. Additionally, it was the first race with our new upgrades, and Budapest isn't your typical racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how things go at Spa. Usually you learn more with each race, so it's too early to make any final calls. Max will need to be patient and understanding during this time, especially since the summer break is much needed now. As I mentioned earlier in this video, the upgrade package was designed for specific tracks. meaning it probably won't perform as well on low downforce tracks like Spa and Monza. To complicate matters, it looks like Verstappen will be using his 5th engine at Spa, which automatically means a 10-place grid penalty. Things aren't looking as rosy for him this year as they did in 2022 when he managed to win the race starting from P14. Right now he's up against some tough competition. Even Verstappen has sounded an alarm at the factory, urging the engineers to finally deliver on the performance they've been promising since Miami. Verstappen's words were blunt: "I don't think everyone understands our current situation. With me, there's no sugarcoating. I speak the truth, and I believe some people need a wake-up call." One can notice that Red Bull did not score many points in the last 6 races compared to the last 2 years. This shows that Red Bull is in big trouble in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. It looks like Verstappen might leave sooner than expected. Meanwhile, Mercedes is thrilled about Red Bull's struggles. Team boss Toto Wolff has often said there's a seat ready for Verstappen if the 3-time world champion wants it. Until recently, Verstappen wasn't interested. He said, "You don't have the fastest car, so we're not interested." But things changed a few races ago. Mercedes locked the front row in Silverstone, took pole position in Canada, and won back-to-back races in Austria and at their home Grand Prix in Silverstone. They've been the second best team just behind McLaren in the last 6 races. Red Bull, however, has been working hard to keep Verstappen. Helmut Marko signed a contract that will keep the superstar with the Austrian team until at least 2026. This situation is essentially setting up Verstappen's future, as the Dutch driver has been clear about his loyalty to Marko and his father. However, with Jos Verstappen frequently clashing with Horner, it seems there's only one possible outcome, and it looks like Red Bull's downfall might have begun. We still have to see what the summer break will bring for the team. Given all this, do you think Verstappen has the right to be angry with Red Bull? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.